Right here, guys. 3. Hey, it's Brooks, access control expert. I'm here with Mike Storms from USAutomatic Gate. USAutomatic Gate is based in Louisville, and they make almost all, if not all, of your parts here in the United States.
We try to stay made in USA as much as possible. There are some exceptions to electronic components and small solar panels. The manufacturers have been squeezed out in the United States, so we sometimes have to source overseas, but we do it as little as possible.
I had talked to you before about the facility that you have there in Louisville, and at one point in time I thought you had your own wave soldering machine and all that stuff. Did you do that stuff in-house, or is that all outside to actually for the control boards and all that?
No, we actually started out doing as much in-house as possible for quality control purposes, because the only way you really know that you have a good product is if you build it yourself.
Gotcha.
So we try to do as much still in-house as we can, as much as we can.
And now you have more circuit boards to do.
We do a lot more circuit boards. We started out doing about 5 a month. Now we do about 500.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
Yes.
Well, I thought it might be interesting, having known you for a while and having been a customer of yours for a while. I really love the Patriot. I thought it'd be interesting for everybody to learn how the Mike Storms story
Sure.
went, and how you went from installer to distributor to manufacturer.
Sure. Yeah, I got into this business pretty much right out of high school. I took some aviation mechanics training, so I knew a lot about electrical and systems. Responded to an ad for a garage door tech position, and very quickly ended up in gate operator tech and doing gate operators for.
I hate to do it for you. What year was this?
It was 1978
Gotcha.
when I started, and
So you've been doing this a long time.
I've been doing this a long time, yes. And after doing some garage door and some commercial garage door stuff that's 40 feet in the air, I decided I liked it down on the ground. So I took up gates and did quite well with Stanley gate operators for a couple of years. And I decided to go out on my own and primarily started out contracting for fence companies.
And at the time, was this all in Dallas-Fort Worth?
All in Dallas-Fort Worth, yes.
And you guys are still in Louisville today, and
that's right.
Once you started, you were always staying in the same spot?
Yeah, I got, part of starting your own business, a lot of times it relies on luck. And in my case, I knew some builders that knew the very wealthiest clients in Dallas, the Hunt family, the Perot's. So very quickly I was doing some really large estate developments. The South Fork Ranch where they filmed Dallas was one of my gates, so had some pretty good coattails to hang on to those first years. The market kind of became more commercial with airport securities and government installations, and so I kind of educated myself and kind of grew with the demand, so to speak.
So that's as an installer, and you did that for how long?
Well, we had the installation company I started in 1981, and it dissolved in 1995. And it dissolved primarily because the wholesale side of my business was going to take over. I was on both sides of a fence. I had to decide which side to be on.
And I think that's pretty important from an installer standpoint, that we
Absolutely.
have somebody that's a distributor that's not also a direct competitor. So you picked one and you went into distribution. How'd that start and how'd that work out for you?
Well, it started really because my company exploded, and we had 40 employees in gate operators, another 12 or so doing ironwork and fabrication, and we were doing large apartment complexes, government facilities, and at the same time a lot of the small fence companies and ornamental iron guys were training their own guy to put in a swing gate in the residential neighborhoods and the easier type of jobs, not quite as technically challenged as the kind of jobs I was doing. So we really didn't cross paths, but as time went on, early 90s, these guys got better at doing what they were doing, and we started crossing paths more often. They were bidding on the same kind of jobs, and it got, like I said, it got to the point where I had to decide which side of the fence I wanted to be on, and I liked the wholesale. I enjoyed training people. I enjoyed the tech support side of it, and I was also playing around with openers, and I thought this is my direction, this is my path. So I closed down, pretty much sold the business to my existing crew chiefs. They all bought a portion of it in their vehicles and trucks, and they started out, and a lot of them are still in business today in Dallas. still installing operators, but
so it's a solid foundation with the installation business, and then from the distribution side, solid foundation is there as well.
Right.
So are you still in the distribution end of it?
Yeah, I still have the distribution company. My wife took it over and pretty much ran that to give me the freedom to do this. That installation experience was invaluable as a manufacturer too, because I can put myself in the shoes of the installer. I can say, what does the guy out there in the field want? He wants it to be easy to install, quick, simple, and he wants a product that's not going to break and cause him to come back. So that's our goals.
So you have a pretty vast experience there. So you went from installer to distributor. So we knew a little bit about that as far as not wanting to compete with the people you're selling to. So how'd you make that jump from distributor into manufacturer? What was the catalyst for that?
The catalyst for that was really the fact that I was not happy with any of the solar operators that I was selling. Everything was going through batteries, and I thought there has to be a better way. The manufacturers simply told me, that's just the nature of it. Your batteries are going to go out. But I actually did some studying and found out that's not the case. It's all about efficiency. It's all about your power requirements. It's all about how much sun you got going in and how much power you got coming out. Okay. And so staying with that formula and getting a great engineer like Mike Quattlebaum on board, that enabled us to design a product that was 10 times better than anything on the market at the time.
Yeah, from an installer standpoint, that's what we really appreciate. I was talking with Craig earlier. That's one thing that we always appreciate as installers, is that when we call you guys for tech support, which happens, you've got a couple different layers there, but they seem to always start with the technician from answering the phone.
That's
so we don't
exactly
have to
right.
go through a bunch of different steps.
Yeah, I mean, we have phone calls of all types, but easily 80% of them are tech support related or installation questions. So why make them go through someone that can't answer the question? The first people to answer our phone is usually a tech, and if all of our techs happen to be on the phone, you'll get a voice on the phone though. You won't get the touch 5 to leave a message thing. So we try to respond to everyone. Of course, we try to train our distributors too. Most of our dealers buy through a distributor, and those distributors, we want them to be trained. So we offer training seminars in their locations, in our location. We try to make sure those counter guys know as much about the product as we do.
I can tell you from a technical standpoint, you're absolutely right. You will get a voice on the phone, because there's been more than once where I've said, well, you know what's going on right now, it's cold, and Quattlebaum's like, well, I'm not cold where it's at, I'm in Florida or wherever the case may be. So you always get something on the phone. So that's a pretty big leap. I mean, I would imagine that from a manufacturing standpoint, you got to make some serious choices, because it's not just a one and done. You've got to figure out what you're going to do about parts, what you're going to do about outsourcing and fulfillment and all that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a whole nother ballgame.
Gotcha. and you just decided you wanted to dedicate yourself to that and have the better half, if you will, run that.
Yeah, exactly.
The distribution side of it. So what other challenges, from now that we know that you know what it looks like from an installer standpoint, what do you foresee in the next few years? So we've had several changes in the last 2 years with the UL 325 2016 and then 18. So what do you see us looking like in the next 5-10 years?
I don't see why that's going to stop. I would imagine we're just going to get safer and safer as time goes on. It's, personal injury is something we all live with in every aspect of life, and our industry for many years was lacking. When I built my first unit, there wasn't any requirement to have reverse sensing. We would not build one without it, because I was experienced enough to know that people can get hurt on these devices, and the last thing I want to do is explain why I wouldn't put that in my unit if I know about it. So we've always tried to be on the forefront of safety. Now, of course, UL has gotten involved, and they're requiring everyone on this floor to have minimal safety requirements. We go beyond that still. We provide more than one entrapment input. We provide multiple entrapment inputs. I think that's going to continue. I think there's going to be more restrictions. We're already at a point where a machine will not work unless you have proper safety equipment hooked to it. That just came out last year. So it's just going to get more strenuous as it goes. I think the other big change we're seeing is an advancement in technology, as everyone's carrying a cell phone now, so everyone's going to have an app. We have an app where we can open and close gates, we can see the status of our gates, we can have alerts to tell us when our gate is open or when we left it open.
USAutomatic has that?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, we
great.
do.
So when do you guys start introduce? Is it available in the products right
It's
now?
on all of our products in the show today,
Okay.
and it will be available in the next 8 weeks.
So it's March right now, so we're thinking June, into May.
June 1 at the latest.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. So what, from somebody, I think it's a very unique perspective, from somebody who manufactures here in the United States and outsources as much stuff as you can here in the United States, where do you see manufacturing going?
Manufacturing, that's so driven by politics and by administrations. When Obama was here, everyone was offshoring, and now that Trump's in, it seems like everyone's bringing it back. We've made the commitment a long time ago that we're going to be a U.S. manufacturer. We're going to always try to be made in USA, and we're going to always try to promote American jobs. So that's been our stand from day one, and it's been in our ads. I don't see us going anywhere else. I can't speak for the others. I know there's still some very large manufacturers building in Mexico and others building in Taiwan and building in India. Perhaps that's their game and that's where they're going to get their best profits. But I think if you build a quality product, you might have to ask a little bit more for it, but people will pay for a quality product.
Well, there's one thing we know about your gate operators and your boards. Mike Quattlebaum has shown me boards that have had lightning go through them,
Exactly.
and they still work. So we appreciate that,
Yeah.
and we appreciate you making it here in the United States as well too. So if I want to find out more about USAutomatic's gate operators, especially the new Ranger HD that you got coming out, where can I go find that information?
You can find it at this point. Our website, USAutomatic.com, will be a good source of information. Installers can download our manuals. They can see just how easy it is to install one of our machines, how simple it is to service them. A lot of guys are afraid to get into gate operators or afraid to get into solar because it's just something they haven't ever done. I assure you it's very simple, and we can make it really easy if they'll take that leap. The app's going to give them a lot more to give to their homeowners. It's going to eventually lock them in with their dealer because servicing can be part of that app at some point, being able to give analytics, being able to actually drive your customer to stay with you because you can give them that support. So I think there's a bridging going on between manufacturers, dealers, end users that we have opportunity to make that, to bridge those gaps, and it'll make it good for all parties.
Well, we're going to have a couple more videos on our YouTube channel as well too, and then maybe one day, since I'm right around the corner from you, I'll be able to sweet talk you into, now that's on camera, I'll be able to sweet talk you into stopping by the facility and get some stuff there as well too.
Oh, that'd be great.
All right,
absolutely.
Mike. I appreciate it. USAutomatic telling us about all their new equipment, and that was pretty much the overall story. Mike going from an installer to a distributor to a manufacturer. Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.